national laws and international covenants subscribed to by us as a nation. This heightened consciousness of rights is the result in good measure of the successful functioning of the institutional system and laws bestowed on us by the Constitution. Citizens have operated it through political parties as instruments to implement their agendas and work in accordance with their mandate. Political parties are thus needed for exercise of political power and for conducting governance. Their credibility and efficacy are critical elements in bringing about stable polities that are essential for socio-economic progress. They are expected to set examples of democratic practice, influence the nature of political mobilization, alliance formation, and societal accommodation. They can facilitate conflict management. Political parties lie at the root of any debate on representativeness, societal conciliation, and governance that is accountable, stable, and efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, shortcomings, wherever identified, must be made good. At the same time, there is a peril to be avoided. Urgency in the search for solutions or impatience with established political processes or sheer frustration with the current state of affairs cannot and should not prompt us towards quasi-legal or extra-legal options. Any thinking towards solutions that delegitimize the constitutional process can do incalculable harm. Likewise, it is incumbent on each of us, and especially those in public life, to respect the careful inbuilt balance between the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary as contained in the Constitution. Eroding the balance, either through underreach of one or overreach of other, could lead to chaos. The last question, on the ethical conduct and public virtue, can only elicit one response. Negation of mind and soul cannot but result in diminishing the public spirit needed to deliver public good. I hope the publication of this book would ignite a public debate on the important subject of corruption and the best means to counter it. I thank Professor Rajkumar for inviting me to participate in this function. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to propose a vote of thanks on the occasion of the release of the book Corruption and Human Rights in India, Comparative Perspectives on Transparency and Good Governance, published by the Oxford University Press. The issue of corruption is indeed very much at the center stage of political and civil society discussion today. As a parliamentarian, I am conscious of the social expectations and aspirations of the Indian citizenry to eliminate corruption and promote good governance in India. This book, written by Professor Rajkumar, Vice Chancellor of O.P. Jindal University, is published at a critical time when there are serious efforts being taken at various levels to address the problem. I sincerely hope that the policy recommendations made in this book will be beneficial in our efforts to eliminate corruption. I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Hamid Ansari, Honorable Vice President of India, for taking the time out to release this important book. Sir, I have always been inspired by your simplicity and humility. I would like to thank you for gracing this occasion and for having delivered a very inspiring speech and sharing your thoughts with us on emphasizing the importance of establishing a society based on rule of law, for fighting corruption. He has also spoken about the role of political parties and also cautioned us against adopting measures that are not legal in nature. And we also have to be patient to handle this situation. I would like to thank Honorable Justice A.K. Ganguly, Judge of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, for his gracious presence and for sharing his very frank views, especially as a student of law. I am indeed grateful to you, sir, for your encouragement and support to our university. I am aware that you have visited our university and spoken to our faculty and students. Thank you very much for your support and blessings always. I would like to congratulate Professor Rajkumar for his academic work and contribution towards fighting corruption. I know that he is very, very passionate about this cause, and we are all very, very proud that the fact that we have established the O.P. Jindal Global University on the basis of a strong faith in promoting academic excellence in teaching and research. There's so much that I know about corruption that I can speak about it, but I think there are some times, I think the time has come that we need to take steps, that awareness has to come. And corruption is not something which is only in the higher echelons of society. I think it's throughout the society at every level and in different forms, which we all know about. And to me, somebody who's supposed to do a job, he doesn't do his job properly, even that's corruption. And whether it's a teacher not teaching, a sweeper not sweeping, a parliamentarian not doing his work, a teacher, whatever, in every form. So I think it's something that the awareness has to come in the people with a sense of responsibility towards their country, and it has to come something from within. Definitely something like the Lokpal bill can maybe help, maybe 1% or 2% in my view, but really something has to come from within the people. And also Justice Ganguly said very rightly that we do not take a very serious view, or we do not even, sometimes a lot of people, we know that these people are corrupt, but still they are hailed as heroes. And to my mind also, when we worship, when we do idol worship, when we also, from childhood, and I myself do this also from a childhood, when we whether offer sweets or different things while doing a puja, it's like, so from a very early age, we are taught to, take care of various gods, deities, and how to keep them happy. And the same thing kind of happens in the society also. And sometimes, as a student of business, I'm learning from Justice Ganguly, as a student of business, sometimes when people do work without any expectation, without taking anything in return, people almost start to feel guilty. So it's so much there in the system that we just take it as a normal way of doing things. But it has to change. It has to change. And to my mind, if the supply side constraints are removed, if earlier they were for getting a telephone connection, if one had to grease some palms to get a telephone connection, and now today telephone companies are running after people to take a connection, there is no corruption in getting a telephone connection. So similarly, if supply side constraints are removed, that definitely eases the things. Anyway, I don't want to take too much time, I'm just supposed to thank, so I don't want to deliberate on this issue. I would like to thank Mr. Manzar Khan, Managing Director, Oxford University Press, for his support to the publication of this very important book. I would like to thank Honorable Justice Sikri, who is always a great support. Honorable Justice Geeta Mittal, Honorable MP Shri Rudy, academicians, bureaucrats, diplomats, and friends who are present here, the members of the media, the faculty and staff of OP Jindal Global University, and other distinguished invitees for taking out time from their busy schedules to be here, to encourage Professor Rajkumar and to lend their support for this very important cause. Thank you. Jai Hind.